Alright guys, welcome back to AutoCraft. Today we're going to be doing something quite interesting. We're going to be using this perimeter we cleared up last time in order to create a witch farm, because we need a large quantity of redstone and gunpowder. And if you're watching this video, I suppose you need a large quantity of redstone and gunpowder too. So why don't we get started by explaining how this farm is going to work. So let's pop into spectator mode so that we can show this off real quick. So if I press B, I'm going to show you the bounding boxes of a lot of things in the area. We will have slime chunks and we'll have the witch farm. So let's press B and we should see this stuff here. So these green boxes are slime chunks, and this blue one right here is where the witch hut was before we destroyed the area. Now, within the bounding box of the witch hut, witches can spawn, and witches drop a large variety of materials such as glass bottles, gunpowder, redstone, sticks, you name it. And we're going to take advantage of this Minecraft mechanic in order to create a farm. Now, you may be wondering why we've even cleared out this area. You don't necessarily need to do it, but it will mean that the spawning algorithm won't need to take as long looking through the area for blocks to spawn the mobs on. So what we need to do is we need to build some spawning layers within this bounding box, make sure the conditions are perfect, and then witches will spawn left and right. We then need to remove them from the bounding box and have them die preferably quickly, so that the mob cap is then freed up, and then more witches can spawn. So yeah, it's a fairly simple concept. Now, if you found that information useful, why don't you subscribe? Over half of my audience who watch these videos don't. So hey, if this was useful and you want to continue watching this stuff, why don't you subscribe to the channel? Anyways, why don't we go into a redstone testing world and I can show off the design we're going to use. So this witch farm right here can produce roughly 4,300 items per hour, and it was designed by Elmango for 1.14.4. The design still works, which is perfect for us. Now you can see witches spawning in periodically. It's not the fastest at the moment, but hey, let us explain this concept. So in order to get the witches out of the bounding box, now if we press B, as you can see the blue box there where the bounding box is, it's kind of being obscured. So what happens is there's 3 spawning layers, the witches spawn, and then immediately trigger the shifting floor system, and then they fall on through. Now, like this witch right here, that isn't always successful, so there's a redstone clock right here, which we need to activate, and then that should trigger the entire thing. So yeah, it's fairly simple. Now what we're going to do is, since we're going to have the FK platform right above this, we're just going to have a instant signal coming down, so we'll use a bunch of slime blocks and redstone blocks to bring the signal down to lock this hopper clock. Let's turn that off right now. And yeah, all these other blocks out here just to make sure it's dark enough within the bounding box of the witch hut for these guys to spawn. Now this utilises fall damage to get them out of the area fairly quickly. You can also use entity cramming if you don't want to dig out the perimeter, but the rates won't be anywhere near as high. So now that we've explained how the farm works and we've showed the design, why don't we go back onto the AutoCraft server and gather the resources we're going to need to build this thing. So we now have all the materials we're going to need for this witch farm in these 3 shulker boxes. We have a bit more of some materials than we actually need, and we've got the exact amount of most of the rest of them. But yeah, we should be good to go now. So let's pick this stuff up and head on over to the perimeter. Yeah, this project is going to be fairly quick. It shouldn't really take us all that long to do. So we've got the floor of this thing in. It didn't take all that long. All we did was we pillared up using some slime blocks as scaffolding, because we can instantly break them with our fists. Now I've been using the bounding box to see roughly where this thing is, and as you can see we have this floor right below where the bounding box starts, so the witches can spawn here. Now, since we know the exact height of the bounding box, and because we've positioned this in an optimal place, we know, well, we know the witches are 2 blocks tall, so we can have at least 3 platforms. So what we'll do is we'll pillar up, place one there, and pillar up again, and place another one here. And there we go. Now, even though this is like 1 block of the bounding box, since this block is still technically within it, we can, build the block above it since it's still technically within it, the air block, then we can spawn witches here. So yeah, this is one of the most optimal setups. So let us get the rest of these platforms, these spawning platforms built, and we need to light them up so that these witches don't spawn, because that would be bad if we were building this thing and witches were spawning left and right. That'd cause a lot of problems. So after getting the other 2 platforms fully in place, I decided to get this redstone stuff done first, other than getting the trapdoors and the string in place, because since I was doing this section next, if I had the string and the trapdoors in place, let's just say I'd be falling through this thing quite a lot, and the trapdoors would just get in the way. So we'll put the trapdoors and the string in last. And yeah, that means we can keep this area all nice and lit up. So let's pop into spectator mode real quick and we can explain this redstone. So the idea is obviously your witch's head will be the same layer as the tripwire. So the witch will spawn or move into the tripwire, and it will trip this system where it will extend these pistons down, which will then push these pistons and will basically shift the entire floor. And then a similar system will push it back at the other side. So yeah, that's all there is to it. This system here basically brings the signal down from above, so even if, say, the top floor is triggered, it will trigger the entire thing, so that the witch doesn't fall onto each consecutive level, taking damage and just, like, you know, getting stuck. Now, with this farm design, there is a risk of the witches spawning and getting stuck in the farm, basically not like having the shift and floor thing work. So that's why we have the redstone clock system, the Etho hop clock thing, right at the front. So yeah, also another thing about this is, since this system is kind of self-contained and fairly small, these, let's say this stone block here is this stone block here, so we could just put this exact same thing on top and then the same again. And then all we need to do is we need to repeat it at the other side, and then this thing is actually nearly finished after that. The only thing we need to do then is put the roof on, some walls, the redstone clock, and the killing area at the bottom. So after getting this other side in place, I started placing glass and I placed the trapdoors on the uppermost level. I've also started work on the killing area, so the drop chute and the hoppers at the bottom where the items will be collected. Now, I'm not sure if funneling them into these central hoppers will work. I guess we'll see about that. But yeah, we're making decent progress. So I need to get these glass walls all the way up. I think I'm also going to get the redstone clock at the front there done as well. And then I guess it's a case of getting the tripwire hooks in, or not the tripwire hooks, the actual tripwires themselves, the rest of the trapdoors, and then we can finally put a roof on this thing and it should be good to go. We will need to deal with the storage system, which I'm thinking of taking a water stream all the way to that wall over there and then having a storage system in the wall somewhere. Yeah, that sounds good. Alright, with that being said, let's crack on with this, shall we? Alright, so I just edited the episode so far and I realised that my audio was completely different to what it normally is. So yeah, my apologies. I was doing some experiments to try and make my audio quality a bit better because, you know, improving your quality is always good, and I forgot to set the settings back. So yeah, everything should be back to normal now. But yeah, I have been busy doing bits and pieces. So we have the glass around the falling area down there around the hoppers, and if we get some airtime right now, we've done the rest of the farm. So we have the walls are in place, the glass walls. In fact, let's just go into spectator mode for this, and all the trapdoors, and the string is in place as well. So that means that it's, let's pretend we are one of the witches. We'll fall through this entire system, and there we go. So that is all in place, it's all complete. Now the only thing we need to do is put the roof in this thing, and then this thing is done. Obviously we still need to handle the items, which we're going to send over to that wall there, and then have a nice big storage system, and then we can properly test this thing with like a 12-hour AFK session, which should be quite interesting. Alright, so the roof is now in place and we can see that the farm is now perfectly dark. Let's get a little bit closer and we might even see some witches spawn. Now it's turned off, or well, the redstone clock is turned off. Yeah, there you go. There's some witches and they fell down into the hoppers. Okay, that's sweet. Okay, right, I need to, in fact, let's just pop into spectator mode because there have been a few witches, and let's see if their items, yeah, their items are collecting in here. Okay, that is sweet. It works. This is my first witch farm, along with my first perimeter. This is insane. Alright, now obviously we need to deal with the case box. It is perfectly centered on this thing, so we need to move that. Along with this system here, I want to have like an instant link coming from the AFK spot, so we'll use some pistons, so similar to that system over there, with the pistons that move the flying machines down by 1 block, so we'll have something like that. And obviously we need to do the item storage system. Now, before we do that, let's just pop back out of this. Before we do that, me and Rustic have got to go and tackle an ocean monument because Rustic is in dire need of some sponges. Alright, let's head in.
Let's make sure that there's nothing that can give me away. I don't like that sound. I know that it's then.
Oh, and there we go, we have confirmation that this is active. Oh, you've already placed the things, I was just
Yeah, I noticed. Yeah, I can notice.
Okay, ready?
Oh yeah, I might not want to stand next to that. Right.
There we go, we have our hole, let's head on in. Oh yeah.
Putting on my armor.
Coming.
Oh well, that
wow.
was.
You did that all by yourself. Yes. Okay, clear the area. Run away.
Swim away, you mean?
And the Elder Guardian is in there. Awesome.
That would be great. Doop 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 doop. Haha. Ow. That hurt a little bit. Can you not hit me?
Oh, am I hitting you? Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
a little bit. Alright.
Awesome, now we only have one to go.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
so
starting to
much
feel like
easier to
this
do nowadays.
Yeah. Well, it also helps that we made the strength potions. Those are a little bit more useful than I even thought.
Yeah. Alright, clear the area. Awesome. And there you go, there's the guy.
Yeah, this is I am hitting you now, aren't I?
Blow, maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, yeah, we've got it, we've done it.
Yeah. I remember this being more difficult.
Yeah. I remember the first time I did this, I did it with a group, and like everyone died.
Same.
Awesome. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and sleep, and then we can go to the sponge room. Alright, so that ocean monument was actually fairly easy. That's the first time we've both done it in quite a while. We were very over-prepared, let's just say that. But yeah, let's get back to this witch farm project. So, before we do the AFK spot, I'll probably got to do that last before we actually do the AFK session. I want to get the storage system in place. So, obviously we need a water line coming down this way. So what we'll do is, let's just land right now, is we'll funnel those hoppers into a bunch of droppers. Maybe like one should do it, but I'll use say maybe 4 or 5. Then yeah, that should fix any problems that we might have. Funnel them all in a water stream, take the water stream down there, make sure the ice and everything is all spawn proofed, and then we can have a storage system where we'll probably go for like say 5 chests tall. These are double chests by the way, and we'll go with 3 slices for each item, and that should be more than enough storage to last us quite some time. Yeah, okay, yeah, in terms of levels, I'm not entirely sure, so why don't we actually just get this thing built. I'll do the water streams first, and then we can work out the actual dimensions of this thing. Alright, so we have the water streams in place going all the way to the wall there, and yeah, the witches have been coming through the system. So yeah, we need to get this thing up and running super quick, and you can see those observers there that are sticking out and not going back in. That means that some witches are stuck, so that's why we need the redstone clock there. Anyways, so we played this over to this wall, and let's actually just fly on over here real quick. There we go. Alright, so basically, I used the chunk grid, or the chunk borders, because in the future we're going to be decorating this entire perimeter. So on the outside of this chunk, So this edge here is going to be the decorative wall. So obviously we can't put the storage room right here, and I want to have at least a good bit of walking space inside it. So I've probably got to go back at least 7 blocks for the room, and then beyond that is where the the storage will be. And the storage is going to be 5 blocks tall, and I don't even know how wide it is. So yeah, we have a lot of work to do right here. What I might do actually is in the future, as when we do eventually decorate this entire thing, I might just move the entire storage room down right to the bottom. But for now, I think it's perfectly fine for us to just start excavating this area and putting it in here. In fact, I might as well get a beacon going as well, because this will speed up this process drastically. Alright, so I got the storage system all nice and placed down there. You can see some of the item frames, just barely. I also got the dropper system in place, and I moved the AFK spot, because if you have the AFK spot in the same chunk as the witch farm, you'll drastically lower the rates. This only applies in 1.14 and above. So yeah, I guess first of all, let's take a look at the dropper system, because it was a little bit more complex than I thought, but all I had to do is basically move around a few droppers and slightly change the positioning of some redstone components. So, as you can see here, we got rid of every other dropper right here, and then we fed the hoppers are going into them into the other droppers. And here's the redstone circuits. They kind of merged together, but they still do the exact same job, so I am perfectly happy with this. Now, I have tested this full system here and it works perfectly. Now, if we head on over to the storage system, as you can see, there's a lot of chests here. And I mean a lot, so we have at least, I'm not even sure, at least a couple days worth of AFK in here, which is quite awesome. So yeah, we've got some standard Impulse SV, item filters at the back, so let's just go and take a look at them with all the items in place. Apart from the last section, because I didn't really feel the need for it, and besides it's only sugar, which we can get from sugarcane farms and things like that. So yeah, we have 3 slices of each item, and each slice contains 5 double chests. So yeah, that should be plenty of storage to do us for quite a while. Once the system eventually fills up, we'll start using shulker box storage. But yeah, personally I don't think that will be necessary. But yeah, we're actually ready to do a proper test of this thing, which we'll be doing later on. However, what I want to do now is I want to go to the shopping district, because we need to do some resupplying at our beacon shop. Alright, so since this shop opened, we've made quite a lot of diamonds from it, and in fact, we made even more since I entered it last episode. So let's take these diamonds and we'll have to split them with the fellow members of the Captains of Industry. Now what I'm going to do is, I don't even know what I'm going to take from the ender chest here when I have one right here, is I'm going to refill this supply with my personal supply of beacons, because I really don't want to go and kill a bunch of withers right now, because it takes a long time to go through that process. Funnily enough, I haven't used the wither skeleton farm since we built it. So yeah, that just shows you how effective it is. But there you go, that's these things all nice and restocked. Now we've got, okay, a few people have been buying some stuff here. One other thing I'd like to do is, let's put this stuff away, as I'd like to change the prices of the beacons and the skulls, because we're later on in the season now and I don't think we need to, make it as expensive. Besides, we actually have some new people now. We have accepted 5 new members, 2 of them are online right now. I'll leave a link to their social stuff in the description, along with the rest of the AutoCraft members. So yeah, some new people have joined us and I want to make this stuff a little bit more accessible for them. So what we need to do is we need to put that stuff away, and we need to find an anvil to make these cheaper. Alright, so the new prices are as follows. So we have 3 skulls for 1 diamond, which is fairly cheap, and 3 diamonds per beacon, which is also quite nice. And yeah, now that we have these new prices, I think these beacons will start flying off the shelves left and right. Alright, so the diamonds have been split 4 ways, so let's give 11 to rustic, 11 to splashes, and then the 12 will go into the Captains of Industry stockpile. There we go. Also, I gave the redstone ore shulker boxes from the perimeter to rustic and splashes, and I've left them here, so the next time we have a meeting, they can come and pick this stuff up. But yeah, we've got quite a lot of diamonds here. This is insane. So guys, we've been very busy today. We got the witch farm constructed, storage room installed, and now we're going to be making lots and lots of redstone. So my plan, in between episodes, I'm going to be doing an AFK session, or 2, or maybe even 3, who knows, and we'll see how many redstone we can get. Now, whilst you wait for the next episode to release, why don't you follow my Twitter, because I post anything, and I mean anything, lots of stuff, AutoCraft stuff, video stuff. So if you want a sneak peek of the next episode, go and follow me there, and remember to go and subscribe to all the other members, especially the new guys, because yeah, they're new and they're going to be producing some fantastic content very soon. I'd like to thank you all for watching this episode of the AutoCraft so far. Make sure you go and watch everyone else on the server. On the left hand screen right now, there are 2 videos, one that YouTube wants you to watch and one that I think you should watch. Make sure you go and watch them, and remember to leave a like, subscribe, and hopefully you will enjoy the videos.